What's up, guys? Welcome to the Fantasy Addiction Network. Today we are talking a recap of the scrimmage game between the New York Guardians and the Tampa Bay Vipers. Not going to waste any time. Let's get started right away. Alright, guys, so recapping the Tampa Bay Vipers and New York Guardians scrimmage game. Final score in this one, New York Guardians 27, Tampa Bay Vipers 15. Now this game, I guess you could say, went as expected. New York Guardians are expected to be one of the better teams in the XFL, with the Tampa Bay Vipers pretty much an unknown right now, but kind of expected to be one of the lesser talented teams on really both sides of the ball, but especially on the defensive side. Now, we'll start by looking at some of the peak performers here. And we'll begin with the Guardians as they won. One of the main people that shined here was Matt McGloin. Said that he had come out and just really started slinging the ball deep, had two deep touchdowns, and ended the half with 3 touchdowns, but also had 2 interceptions, one of which was in the red zone. But still, that has to be very reassuring for people who are excited for the New York Guardians themselves, and for assets in New York. If Matt McGloin has found the ability to throw the ball deep, which is something he hasn't really ever done in his career, that just opens up a tremendous amount of fantasy value for this entire team, and might even need us to go back and increase the value for Mikael McKay. Again, if there's deep ball potential, then Mikael McKay is going to eat it up in New York. So Matt McGloin throwing 3 touchdowns in the first half and then getting benched in the second half for their backup there, I think that is a tremendous showing for him. The 2 receivers that caught the deep balls, Colby Pearson and Teo Redding, not people that we've really been looking at. Again, we are more interested in D'Angelo Yancey and Mikael McKay, but it is good news for these guys to be able to shine like this in the last day before roster cut, so good for them. And overall, it just looks like the New York Guardians are going to be an incredibly strong team, possibly the favorites to win the inaugural championship in the XFL. All right, looking over at the Vipers, not too much on offense today. Aaron Murray didn't look all that great, but Daniel Williams was a standout here. Again, another receiver that we weren't really expecting too much from, but the touchdown that he got actually came from Taylor Cornelius. There was, 1 touchdown scored in the first half by Aaron Murray, and I don't necessarily have the stats on who scored that, because again, they don't give us the box scores or necessarily tell us who scored each play. We can only go based off of the limited information that we have, but overall it looked like the Tampa Bay Vipers were struggling to keep up. We have a slight little recap of kind of how the game went. It was a little slow to start with, and then the Guardians came out and scored first, and then Tampa Bay answered right after that. So it was 7-6, and then, or actually I believe it was 6-6. I believe both teams had missed their extra point, and then the next drive, the Guardians came back out and scored again. So that was the first touchdown was the Colby Pearson touchdown, and then the Teo Redding touchdown, and then they went for a 2-point conversion and went up 14-6, and then they forced the ball back with the Guardians' strong defense, scored again, went up 20-6. Now, that's how it went into the first half, and really in a lot of these scrimmage games we've seen the teams pull out their main starters after the first half, so really just a dominant performance by most of the starters in New York. After it came back down after the second half began, the Vipers did score that touchdown with Taylor Cornelius, got him back up to 20-12, but then New York's backups ended up scoring another touchdown and going up 27-12. The Vipers ended up scoring a field goal, making it 27-15, but really this game was all about New York. Both sides of the ball. Their offense was great, their defense was great. Other than a few mistakes by Matt McGloin, this looks like it could very well be one of the most well-rounded teams, and as we've kind of stated in a lot of our videos right now, I think New York, DC, Dallas, those are going to be the teams to beat here in the first year in the XFL. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this all plays out in week 1. And tomorrow is going to be a really interesting day too. It's going to be very pivotal for a lot of players in the XFL because it is the final roster cut down. So they're going from 70 players all the way down to 52. So that means each team is going to be cutting about 18 players, assuming they're already at the 70 active spots now. They haven't cut anyone else. So 18 players are going to be handed their notices tomorrow, which kind of sucks for them. So I really hope that they continue to find opportunities and continue to hang strong, because I'm sure there will be more opportunities as the season goes on and players either don't make it or unfortunate injuries happen. So, wish them the best. But we're going to find out a little bit more information from a fantasy angle tomorrow as we see who ends up becoming a cap or a roster casualty as those cuts hit. But anyway, if you guys are interested in playing fantasy football and I have no idea who you'd want to draft, I actually have rankings for you. You can download them for absolutely no charge. The link is in the description below. Feel free to click that link. And then also you can visit fantasyaddictionnetwork.com for rankings and more all season long. So feel free to visit that. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for joining me, and we will see you in the next one.